Now, we have understood what is changing, we are understanding what we need to adopt. Now let us see where we were and where we have come. Now, there was excessive paperwork for each of the clients. Clients managed for several locations suffered from information loss often. Now, wherever you do not agree, please raise a hand or stop me. The partners did not have a clear picture of the project status, job status, resources, or whether the jobs have been invoiced or not. Their information available on the firm's capacity versus the expected workload was insufficient. There were often cases when invoices weren't paid, or there was no way of tracking whether or not the invoice amount has been received. Figuring out who might have the correct information on a client, I mean, this is something which makes me, laugh at times, but this is the reality. This is a major reality, right? I mean, today also, I have been talking to CA firms for last 2 years now. Today also I find, a lot of firms, and I feel bad about it, that this is something we are not in control, because we are so much involved. The CAs are so much involved in servicing the clients, they forget about themselves. I mean, is it correct? Am I making correct statements? Yeah? So, I mean, let me not even begin the number of human errors we are talking about. Okay, so this used to be the days. I mean, I would like to believe this used to be, but I am sure there are many who are thinking internally, "Arey, ye to mera bhi haal hai yaar." Now this is what has happened as a digital evolution. Okay, this is how it used to look. Now we went ahead and we had no choice but to adopt emails, smartphones, and we started thinking that we are digital. Obviously, reduction of paperwork has happened, but it is not paperless. We are still paper dependent, and we are definitely spreadsheet dependent, right? Now what happens, the green tab there, is talking about a centralized system, okay, where you put all your transactions, not the client transactions, your data, not the client data, your information, that what kind of transactions you do, what is your practice, what is your business, okay, what is your profitability, which practices are giving you better profitability. So that is something which needs to be there in a system, and that is something which has to be centralized, accessible from anywhere. So this is available now. People have adopted that now. Now coming from there, then let us look at what are the priorities for the fraternity by the end of the decade. Update your IT operating model to get ready for the new normal. So that is something which is not anymore a luxury. It is required. As Mr. Anil Bhandari said, invest in your business, invest in your company. Okay? So this is the new normal. This is not a luxury anymore. Slash costs by simplifying legacy systems, taking SaaS beyond the cloud. Build the technology capabilities to get more intelligent about our customer needs. I just spoke about it. Prepare your architecture to connect to anything, anywhere. Okay, you can't pay enough attention to cyber security. I just spoke about it. You don't need to, because there are standards which are applicable. So just follow those standards. If Pentagon can get hacked, we are nobody. So let us not, get stuck at a place where we think that, we are the only one who is at risk. We are not the only ones. Pentagon is also at risk, right? Make sure you have access to the necessary talent and skills to execute and win. The bottom line is be proactive and not reactive. Okay, so now the biggest elephant in the room, let me address that. How is digital empowerment going to help your capacity building? So this was my topic essentially, right? Now what does it encompass? using the current staff to its full capacity, helping staff keeping pace with the growth of the firm. Wherever you have a question, please stop me, okay? Building capacity by anticipating the requirement of the future, attracting the right talent. Now, I'll come to that in the following slides. How you attract the right talent? Managing movement of staff. So this is actually what it encompasses. Now, using the current staff to its fullest capacity, it starts with allocating jobs. I mean, that is the basic thing. I mean, you have a 360-degree view of your client, right? Once you have a 360-degree view of your client, you have the resources in place. First thing you do is you allocate a job to your resource. How easy do you imagine it is when you have several people working for you on several? So basically the solution is you have to have a software wherein you can track everything. Okay? Helping staff keeping pace with growth of the firm. Arm them with technology. Digital content that reduces their time of research. So you have this, research things which goes on every day in every firm on every subject. So if you make it digital, today we are very paper based, we are very book based, okay? So if you make it digital, if you give the digital thing to them, which is database oriented, then what happens? They are interested because that is something which is in line with what these new generation is looking at. Well, this is some interesting data. The right talent, how do we attract the right talent? So what is statistics saying? 75%, okay, by the way, 65% of the population in India is under 30, right? 75% of the youth in our country is an internet user. I mean, somebody spoke about it actually on some numbers. And 69% use it at least once a day. Okay? The majority of your staff is also young. If it is not, then you may want to look at it. In order to attract the real talent, it is essential to provide them with the technology, internet to progress with the generation, because that is something which they are used to. Okay, so basically building capacity by anticipating the requirement of the future. So I do not want to read through all the text here, but at the end of the day, what it says is, if you have a centralized system, if you have a centralized software where you can get a 360-degree view of your clients, of all your jobs, of all your resources, you do a capacity planning. At a click of a button, you get to know which are the type of jobs, which are at what status, what is your accounts receivable, what is your profitability at the end of a quarter or a month. So all this can happen only if you have a software centralized, accessible from anywhere. Why cloud? Okay, these are again some statistics, okay. Now cloud is having a measurable impact on the business. How? It has helped, almost 21% improvement in time to market. By the way, how you go to the market. So 21% improvement has happened in that. 20% improvement in increase in the company's growth. Okay. 19% average increase in process efficiency. So this is something which is you can note down or you can remember. Average reduction in operational cost. Now we generally think that it's a cloud, it's a subscription based, so we need to pay every year. But actually you reduce your operational cost. Now this comes from the fact that otherwise you have to invest in infrastructure. 15% average reduction in IT spending because you would otherwise spend. See, the assumption is you have to adopt technology. Either you adopt cloud or you adopt, in-house. So if you adopt in-house, you will increase the cost by 15%. And maintenance costs, obviously, if you have in-house IT, you have to maintain. So if you maintain, then you have to have, costs. So that reduces by 17%. Okay, now what can cloud do for your firm? Agility. Now somebody spoke about agility, which means we need to be ready all the time. We need to be agile all the time. Need to understand what is happening around us. So that is ranked as a top driver for cloud adoption. disaster recovery. CA firms are twice as likely as any other business to have implemented cloud-based backup and recovery solutions owing to the magnitude of the work they handle. So today, I am sure you all depend on the cloud storage, right? You all depend on cloud storage. But have you ever thought, while going through the cloud storage or adopting the cloud storage, you never thought about it? What happens if there is no mirroring at the cloud, at the data center, if there is no recovery which can happen there? We don't think about it because these are all standardized, right? These are following all international standards. Automatic software updates, you don't need to think about it. Capital expenditure free, increased collaboration because you are doing it in the cloud. Work from anywhere, document control, security. Okay, so lost laptops are $1 billion business problem today, essentially. Okay, now then you have competitiveness, and it obviously makes it environment friendly, and climate control is something which is a big buzz now. Well, okay, so coming to what we come from, the software that can help you build your capacity and enhance productivity is iFirm. So iFirm is a software which is adopted by about 400 chartered accounting firms in India. So what it actually does, these are some of the quotes from our customers. We have observed an upsurge of close to 10% in the staff's productivity. Yeah. So iFirm's all-encompassing reports. I mean, these are statements given by the customers themselves. All-encompassing reports have enabled seamless communication within the firm. Using CCH iFirm has certainly brought us closer to our goal of becoming an enterprising CA firm. Okay. CCH iFirm has been a positive change for us. The dashboard and the reports have certainly given us extensive insights into the progress and the projects and performance of the resources, enabling us to enhance our profitability by 12% within a short span of time. So these are very solid statements made by the customers after using the application. iFirm has changed things for good as the staff monitoring improved, delays were reduced, and our productivity increased by nearly 20%. So if we talk about ROI, which is the return on investment, in fact, we cannot share the exact details here, but the return on investment is happening within 6 months. Okay? Sorry? Yeah, it's a pay-per-use product. Yeah. So this is what it is. Client 360-degree, job tracking. So these are the things which you get out of this software. Job tracking, job costing, job profitability, resource allocation and management, timesheet management, invoicing and accounts receivable management, detailed reporting, access from anywhere because it is on cloud. It obviously brings in the global best practices because it is a global application. So now it is being used by chartered accountants or CPAs across 20 countries. Okay. Now what essentially you get three things: control, visibility and traceability. Think about it. If you get these three things, are you in complete control of your practice? Well, that's about it. If you have any questions, we can meet offline. If you have anything to ask now, do you have any objections to what I said? You can please catch me. I am around here. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So given where we are, in terms of, you also talked about the demographic dividend, that we have as a country, right? And, that's something our Honorable Prime Minister also keeps talking about a lot in international forums. What is your personal view? Do you look at it as a demographic dividend, or, do you think that, it could actually, given, where we are, it could actually turn out to be a huge liability wherein we could look at a lot of job cuts in information technology. We could look at, possibly people not getting up to, that level of skill that is needed to probably capture international business. What is your personal view? That's one. And two, given, a lot of the talks that I've been hearing, I personally believe that the biggest potential, therefore, at least in India, is in training, for chartered accountants, because if we are facing that kind of a demographic challenge, then I think that's where the biggest opportunity is. What's your view on that?
Well, excellent question. I think the points you have picked up, my small thought on the first question is, it's a huge opportunity. What will happen is, India has been a, economy which is service oriented, right? Now, with all the changes which are happening, and with the demographic dividend concept, what you're talking about, I personally believe that with the Skill India initiative, if it actually takes shape and executed well, that is the biggest opportunity for many trainers. And what that will make is, that will make cross the borders. Okay? So all services business, anything, what Mr. Anil Bhandari spoke about, that the opportunity lies in sitting in India and doing practice across 20 countries. And that is going to be a reality. Well, it may happen in 5 years, it may happen in 10 years. That is something which, I won't be able to comment at this point. But that is definitely an option. Anybody else? So thank you very much. Please visit our stall and drop in your business cards, because we are going to have a lucky draw. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Debajit Royji. Well, I feel privileged of being given the opportunity of offering vote of thanks on behalf of AIRC, as well as on behalf of Committee on Information Technology of ICAI. So what our Prime Minister is saying, that we are having 70% youth, and what our speaker for today's session is saying, that 75% of the youth is using the technology. So this is the developing country. After few years, we can see the changes, because youth can accept entire new thing very easily. So thanks for the wonderful speech. I will request CA Om Prakash Bankaji, please come up on the dais and offer a memento as a token of honor to the learning speaker, Mr. Debajit Royji. So please friends, give a big round of applause for the great speaker for this session. And your delicious lunch is waiting for all of you. Please join for lunch. After 45 minutes, we will be gathered over here for the second technical session. Thanks a lot.